Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So my husband Ed and I had this amazing experience and opportunity to be able to share our experience following the Wake Up Warrior movement for the past, well, at that time, this was like November of 2017. Would have been about 2.5 years at that time, because it's like three years now. Yeah, 2.5 years. And how that really changed ourselves, our family, our marriage, in front of, I don't know, it was 500, 600 men, something like that, in Laguna Beach. And so much love to Garrett J. White for giving us that opportunity and for asking us to come share, and it was an absolute honor to do so. And there was one thing, and it was funny too, right? Because it was like such the energy of 500 dudes in suits on the last night, like, was just intense. For me, it was intense. I like intense. This was intense. I've never experienced that much male energy in one space. Like, it was intense. And so it was Jeremy, who's part of the Wake Up Warrior movement, and Garrett was asking us questions, and, you know, very real and raw as Warrior is, as Garrett is, as everybody in that movement is, and we are as well too. And at the end of it, as we stood, it was like Garrett had all the men say, like, I see you. I see you. And it was like, it's funny to think of it right now too, because it was so powerful of a moment. And it's 3 simple words, right? None of this like, hey, let's give it up for like Karen and Ed. Karen came out here with Ed during like Warrior Con to do this and to, you know, support her king and to share their experience, and we really appreciate you. Yeah, it was just like, there was a couple other things. I'm trying to think what else he kind of had the men all say kind of in unison. But imagine it's like, I see you. And as I'm picking up, so my youngest son turns 5 today. And it's awesome and exciting, and he's such an amazing kid. And he's a very different little boy. He's a little boy who wants to wear a princess dress. He's a little boy who wants everything to be pink. He's a little boy who has dolls. And as much as you can say as a parent of like, well, if my, like, you know, gender stuff, like, who the hell cares? And if my girl wanted to, if my son wanted to, you know, I was that too. But it's, you know, it's a different thing when they start to get older now and want to be doing those things. And you kind of go like, man, he's such a beautiful soul. I accept him for who he is. Will the world accept him? Is he going to be made fun of by other kids at school because he wants to wear a princess dress? You know? Sexuality aside, that's a whole other conversation, and we'll get there when we get there. But for me, it's been very much a deep dive into accept my children for who they are. Yep. And it doesn't have to look like a certain thing. It doesn't have to be like a boy thing, or people even see Kai and they think he's a girl. And we're, again, just this conversation is not about, is Kai is he gay or is he straight? Is this like a whole gender, thing, gender identity, like whole other conversation, no disrespect to that, but that's not where I'm going with that. I think the biggest thing is I pick up his pink cupcakes and I get all of his princess stuff and the pink balloons and the LOL dolls that he loves so much. I was so excited. I kind of like we got a whole bunch of them for him. And so I told him he could have one present this morning, which was one of them. And he said, can I get another present, Mommy? And I was like, no. And I was like, you know what? It's his birthday. Whatever the fuck he wants. Like, gave him another one. He's like so excited. He's showing, Mommy, I love her skirt. Like, I love this one's dress. It's so pretty. Look at her shoes. He likes to wear my shoes. Like, we're like, Kai. I remember his daycare teacher, Cora, said this to him. It's like, Kai loves all things beautiful. He has an eye for beautiful things. And it was the most lovely way to describe my son. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, and the reason why I'm talking about this experience from Warrior is the most honoring thing you can do as a parent, you can do as a wife or husband, because we have some men listening to the podcast. The most honoring thing you can do as a human being is to let people know that I see you. I see you for who you are. And to me, that implicitly also means is I accept you for who you are. I love you for who you are. Do not think for a moment of changing yourself for other people. And listen, this is even beyond then. I have a boy who wants to do all of the traditional girl stuff. Listen, there's a lot of you that show up a certain way as moms because you think you're supposed to, I'm going through this kind of battle inside of me that really feels a pull to want to spend and really be home with my kids. Both are starting at school, and Kai's been in daycare since he was a little guy, and so my kids have always been Monday to Friday away from the home, so that because I was working, and sometimes 3 businesses at one point, and then 2, and then down to the 1, and then we moved here and to Victoria from Alberta. But I really feel this, and it's I literally have to almost check myself, because I go, well, wait a second, but that's not me. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And I don't have any disrespect, but when I'm being honest with myself, I think I really did judge that. I'm but I mean, it's almost to me feels like the same thing. I remember when I started to have the whisperings about 5 years prior to when we closed the doors of a chiropractic office of you need to leave chiropractic. I was like, what? Who said that? That's some utter bullshit. I'm going to be a chiropractor and have my hands on people, helping their bodies to function better and to heal until my last breath. That was the passion for me with chiropractic. It was not I'm going to try this out for a while. Let me go to school for 8 years, invest $150K in 8 years of my life, and I'll just kind of dip my toe in the water and see how the temperature is. And if not, I'll just find another pool to swim in. It's no, that was not so. When I started to get those messages, those whisperings from the voice inside, it was what? Who's saying that? No. It's the same whisperings I'm having right now about, you need to really be there for your children. And it's not as if I wasn't there for my kids before, but it's different. It's wanting to really be there for them as a stay-at-home parent, that I would have my days to be able to write and run this podcast and other things that I may still feel called to do within this movement. Women Wanting More. I'm going to cross the street here and continue this conversation as I get home. But it is those same whisperings, and I literally have had to say to myself, Karen, I see you. Accept what you are feeling, accept what you are being pulled to, accept what you're being called to. Looking myself in the mirror and say, I see you, Karen, I see myself. I see you. Isn't it crazy, sister, how the simplest of words can have the most significant impact, I see you. I still think, too, the most powerful words on the planet are I am. Declaration of who you be, of who you are, of you. I see you. And so I well up with emotion when I look at these pink cupcakes, and by the way, they look delicious. I can't believe I keep forgetting this gluten-free bakery exists, and I drive by it, and everything's gluten-free. And for the first time, because this is how we eat mostly in our family, and kind of definitely make choices with foods that are, real foods and very little artificial stuff. And I will definitely do some baking of my own. I like to bake, but, busy. And I take a look at their stuff and I go, look at those cupcakes. Those are gorgeous. They're so beautiful. And I've tasted their stuff and it's oh my God, so good. So as I open it up and I look at the cupcakes and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to flip out. He's going to be so excited. And, that's the feeling that I have. It's just son, I see you. I eldest son, Tyson, talked about today. We've had some couple summer camps where we got some behavioral stuff happening again, and there's some conversations with my good friend Jill, and just an understanding of like, hey, you know what, this is a lot of stimulus for Tyson to be at a different camp every single week. Like maybe some of the kids who are 7.5 can handle this or okay with it, but he's clearly letting me know, because this has not been his MO for a while, to be like hitting, and he spit on a counselor yesterday. I'm like, what? That's not Tyson. And he's just not able to handle it, and it was just, he was a little bummed that I pulled him out of one camp or putting him into another one, which is just kind of really open. It's called Skedaddle, and they do just tons of fun stuff. It's a little bit more unstructured, and they have more counselors to the kids. It's not so sports specific. He was doing a dodgeball and a swim one. It's just too much for him. And I told him, I just said, Tyson, this is just really respecting who you are, and this is where you have fun. And it's again another way of me saying, son, I see you. I'm not going to put you into something that you are not ready for, not mature enough. It's just too much for you. And try to fit him into this box of where I think he needs to be. No, Tyson, I see you. And I take that even with my husband, who at times, I can be tough on Ed. We tend to be toughest on the ones closest to us at times, don't we? It's not a right or wrong. I'm not going to judge myself. You shouldn't judge yourself. I'm certainly not judging you. I know when I share these things, I definitely have gotten judged by people. That's okay. I know who I am. And I share this because I know a lot of you are like, me too. I judge too. Like, that's me. And you feel guilty about it badly, and it's okay. It's okay. Because I've come to realize that contrast of being tough on Ed at times has been like, you know what, Ed? Yeah, that stuff's I'm not continuing with that stuff. That is not okay. No, I see you. I see all the amazing things that you do for our family. I see how you're starting to take even more and better care of your body. I see how much you care about your clients. I see you. I see how you show up as a father when your father was never there for you to know how to be a father. I see you doing it. I see you. So here's your more tip for today then, sister. I want you to think of one person in your life that you need to say that to today. I see you. I accept you. I love you for who you are. I'm not here to try to change you, to make you into someone who you are not, or to tell you that you're doing it wrong. I see you. The most beautiful and loving gift. Because really, it's such a, basic primal core need that we're just like, do people see me? Am I heard? Am I enough as who I am? And I see you says all of those things, right? I see you. I hear you. I love you. You are enough. So I want you to think there's going to be one person right now that instantly comes to your mind, and that's who you need to say today. You either have a conversation face to face, you send them a text message, you send them an email. I don't care. Send a carrier pigeon. Send them a book as a gift. Like whatever you want it to be. Listen inside. How does that need to show up? Don't make it complicated. Just go with it. And do that today. And I know that one small but yet huge gesture will transform that person. Even if just for a moment, if they're in such a dark place that they're going to flip-flop back to it. But I'm telling you right now, they will remember that moment. And I see you too, sister. And I love and appreciate you being here, listening to the podcast, whether this is your first episode. If you're the first, you're like, oh my God, are we crying every single episode? Because I got to bring some Kleenex in the car. Yeah, sometimes. I see you. And I love you for being here. So that is it, sister. Listen, to stay in the loop of everything Women Wanting More as this is evolving into something where it needs to evolve into. I want you to right now, if you don't already get the newsletter, which you're going to get 5 to 7 days a week, blog posts that I've written, cool things that are coming up with this movement and tribe, every single podcast episode, including all the show notes. If you hear me talk about things, you're like, oh, I got to write that down. Like, they will be in the show notes for you. And I'm going to send you 3 video trainings as a special gift as well on how to drop the stories and create new ones and really remember who you are. And so right now, I want you to head over to drkarenosborn.com/action guide, and I'll get you set up on that today. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is one step away from you being in a state of love and seeing not only the others around you, but you every single day. I love and appreciate you, sister.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.